Hey everyone, it's Wolfram here, and today's video is about the org and the setup I use to get the camo challenges done as quickly as possible. Before I get into the two loadouts that I used to do this, I've got a video that sets out general hints and tips for the SMGs and how to get the Gold and Platinum Camos as quickly as possible. I'll leave a link here for you to click onto. The link is also in the description. Each of the SMGs requires a slightly different setup. They also have different attachments to complete these, so I've done loadout videos for each of them. And again, links for each will be in the description below. And my recommendation for completing these challenges is to do them in hardcore. Now, for the first loadout, we're going to deal with the loadout that I use pretty much for all of the challenges. The aim is to do them all in shipment. You can do them on any of the other maps, but in shipment you really can get the number of kills in order to get the camo challenges finished as quickly as possible. So this loadout is a close quarter loadout that I use. So for the org, it's very much like an assault rifle more than an SMG. Now some people will look at the barrel on the org and either put on a lightweight barrel or one of the longer barrels, depending if they want damage or speed. I actually found that I didn't need any of these. I didn't find the speed benefit from the lightweight barrel helped that much, and so I stuck with using no barrel at all. The first attachment I did use was the 5mm laser. That gives you your aim down sight speed, your sprint to fire speed, which I think really helps with this setup. I used the close quarter stock, not the ultralight hollow stock. Again, that gave you the speed you needed, the movement speed that you need certainly for shipment. The stippled grip tape, that's pretty much used on all of the setups. It gives you the mobility boost that you need. On this setup I use a 60 round mags, so I just simply found the 30 round mags are not enough in order to get the kills really racking up. It does affect the movement speed, but I think it's a valid trade-off. If not, you can use a 30 round mags. I'd certainly consider using the 30 round mags in a situation where I was trying to do the reloading challenge and change one of the others. Take off the stock and probably put on sleight of hand. The other attachment I use pretty much in all the guns in these close quarter situations is a Merc 4 grip, crucially because it gives you the hip fire bonus that you really need. With that and the other attachments you can hip fire, not quite like a laser, but it really helps in order to rack up those camo challenges. Now looking at the Longshots loadout, that's a completely different loadout to the close quarter one. You're going to use it on the much larger maps, and the aim is solely to get your long shots. This loadout I find makes it much easier, so you can do it in much less time. What I look at in respect of this is to be able to give you the maximum damage at range to get your long shots. The weapon then really functions much more like an assault rifle than an SMG. It's going to be no good to you in close quarter combat. You're going to want to stay away from those fights when you're doing this camo challenge. You really just want to be focusing on the long shots. So in terms of the loadout, first thing, monolithic suppressor. As my recommendation is, everything's done in hardcore. You want to stay completely off the map. I generally run cold-blooded and ghost perks as well, but the monolithic suppressor really helps by keeping you off the compass and the minimap. In terms of the barrels, I use a 622mm long barrel. You could instead use the 407 extended barrel, which is a good all-round barrel, but I really was focusing on the damage range here. There is a big difference in the mobility, so if you're finding that you want to have a bit more speed with the weapon, then you can drop down to the low barrel. I needed to use the OPTIC. I don't particularly like the iron sights, but if you do, then you can get away with it fine. And I put on something else like a Commando foregrip. But in terms of the OPTIC, I just use the GI Mini Reflex because it gives you best view. If you want something with a bit of zoom in order to get the long shots, particularly on bigger maps, I'd use the VLK because I find that the best OPTIC for anything else really. Then in terms of tape, I use the granulated grip tape. That is to give you the stability you need to be able to hit the shots. Again, I'm not looking at ADS speed. This does really slow down the weapon, but it's great for long shots because you want the stability. I also put on the 5.56 NATO rounds, which really increase the range and the damage of the weapon, which pretty much guarantees you the fewest number of bullets you need in order to get that kill at the distance, because you really don't want to be spraying at a long distance because the gun isn't that accurate. If you don't want to use that, again, you can take that off and put on something like the Commando foregrip to help with the recoil. So that is my loadout for long shots. Those are the two loadouts I used in order to get the camos done quickly. The AUG wasn't too difficult. It's one of the weapons I did actually very early on and didn't need to include as part of my overall grind because I'd already got gold on it. But it didn't take too long, and it certainly was my first learning curve as to how to do this quickly. If you like the video and you want more content like this, please subscribe, please leave a like. If you've got other suggestions as to loadouts, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.